All right, let's dive into this Echelon AMA, huh?
Yeah, February's.
Yeah. February. Lots to untack here, lots of juicy details about what's coming up.
Yeah, and they kind of sprinkled some interesting tidbits in there, too.
Yeah, it's not just the immediate stuff. It's like, all right, what's their long-term vision,
Yeah, exactly.
Where are they going with this?
Yeah, it feels like they're building like a skyscraper and they're letting us see like the blueprints.
Exactly, exactly. And I think that's what has people excited, especially with the Parallel Prime Championship coming up.
Yeah, Worlds is going to be nuts.
Worlds is going to be nuts. But, all right, so where should we start? I mean, there's a lot to cover here. Do you want to start with the bonds and Morph It Play stuff? I know people have been waiting for them to do something about that.
Yeah, that listing process has been a pain,
Yeah.
but it sounds like they're finally streamlining things.
Yeah, what are some of the key changes they're making?
Well, for one, no more locking up your cards when you list them. Hallelujah.
Oh, thank goodness.
Right, and they're also introducing, get this, something called Sprinter,
Sprinter, okay.
which is basically like a universal translator for cryptocurrencies.
Oh, interesting.
So, like, imagine you want to buy a card from someone, but the seller prefers a different cryptocurrency, right,
Right.
than what you have in your wallet.
Yeah.
Sprinter's just going to step in and make that transaction happen seamlessly. No more hoops to jump through.
So it's basically like a universal payment system within the game.
Exactly.
Okay, and you think this could be big for attracting new players?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Especially, some people who are a little bit intimidated by the whole crypto thing.
Right.
And the beauty of it is it's not limited to just one blockchain.
Oh, okay.
They're aiming to expand Sprinter to even more networks in the future.
Wow.
So it could have like a ripple effect across, the entire Web3 gaming space.
That's a really good point. It's not just about parallel, right?
Right.
This could actually impact the entire industry.
Right.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Now let's talk about tournament app updates.
Yeah, some exciting stuff there.
Yeah, finally, head-to-head challenges for Prime.
It's about time.
I know, right?
People have been asking for that forever.
I know. I'm ready to settle some scores. But what I thought was really interesting is the addition of round robin and double elimination formats.
Yeah, that's going to shake things up in the competitive scene for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, before you were pretty much limited to, just a few tournament formats.
Right.
Now they're really creating like a more robust and competitive landscape, giving players more ways to like test their skills.
Yeah, it's like they're really fleshing out the competitive scene.
Absolutely.
You're giving players more options,
There's more ways to play.
and then they're also giving the community more control with those admin features.
Yeah, those are huge.
Right, like paid entry options, custom rule sets.
It's like they're handing the community the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
And saying, go create something awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just imagine, your local game store hosting a parallel tournament with custom rules and like prizes and everything.
Right.
That's next level community building.
Totally. Totally. And I think the paid entry thing too, I think that's going to bring a whole new wave of players into the competitive scene.
Oh, yeah.
Because now it's not just bragging rights.
Right.
There's actually something to play for.
Stakes are higher.
Stakes are higher. Okay, before we get too deep into the competitive side of things, let's talk about the unified profile system. This is something that's going to benefit every parallel player.
Yeah, this is all about simplicity. Imagine like one central hub where you can access everything parallel.
Oh, okay.
Your tournament history, your collection, even future titles they release.
Okay, I'm liking this.
All in one place.
Yeah.
It's about creating a more cohesive experience for players,
So it's like instead of jumping between different apps and websites, everything is just under one roof. Exactly.
I like it.
Think about it. Your profile becomes like a snapshot of your entire parallel journey.
Right. All your achievements, your progress.
Everything.
Your parallel identity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a digital passport to the parallel universe.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk about the main event, the Parallel Prime Championship in Vegas.
The big one.
The HyperX Arena. I mean, that's a pretty prestigious venue. I mean, $100K for the winner?
Yeah. The stakes are high.
That's incredible.
It's not just about the money, though.
Right.
This is Parallel's first ever Prime Championship.
Right.
They're really putting themselves on the map here.
Yeah. It's a statement.
It's a statement. And the fact that they chose such a prestigious venue, I mean, it speaks volumes.
Yeah.
They're serious about competitive gaming.
Yeah. Yeah. And those players who are competing in the championship?
Oh, yeah, the top 16.
They had to go through a lot to get there.
Yeah, they didn't just look into it.
Right.
They earned their spot.
They earned it. It was a grind. League points, majors, that last chance qualifier.
Grueling.
It's intense. Okay, I have to ask, though. Are you going to be rocking one of those custom parallel Prime jerseys?
Oh, you know I am. Pre-ordered mine months ago.
Of course you did.
Can't miss out on that swag.
Yeah, it's going to be cool to see everybody there, repping parallel.
And it's not just about the jerseys.
Right.
I mean, they're talking physical card pack, maybe even some like exclusive digital mints tied to the championship.
Oh, wow.
They're really going all out.
Yeah, so it's like, you get the physical and the digital. It's this cool convergence.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, it's going to add a whole new layer to the game.
All right, so we've covered quite a bit of ground already. Bonds and Morph Place, tournament updates, payload, even the Prime Championship. What's standing out to you so far?
I think for me, it's just the overall vision that's really impressive. They're not just building a game, they're building like this whole ecosystem.
Right.
And they're doing it in a way that really empowers the community.
Yeah, that seems to be a recurring theme here.
Absolutely. It's all about like giving players a voice, giving them a stake in the future of Parallel. So mobile launch, huh? Big news.
I mean, it's been a long time coming.
People have been clamoring for this.
Yeah, everybody wants to be able to play parallel on the go.
Well, it sounds like it's finally happening. But they're not just, rushing to get it out there.
Right.
They're taking a very, measured approach.
Which I think is smart.
Yeah.
They want to make sure the experience is really polished,
Exactly. They're starting with testing at Worlds.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, a little sneak peek for the people who are lucky enough to be there.
I wish I was going.
Me too, man. Me too.
Yeah.
But then they're going to gradually expand it each month, get more and more people in.
So it's like a phased rollout.
Exactly. A phased rollout. It's a smart move, generate some excitement, get feedback from, a core group of players.
Right.
And then really fine-tune the experience before they, unleash it on the world.
And you know what? Seeing those top players battling it out on their phones at the championship, that's going to be some pretty powerful marketing, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. People are going to see that and be like, I got to get in on this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like a live demo.
Yeah, with the best players in the world.
Exactly.
Showcasing the game.
And then on top of that, they're also planning this huge marketing push to coincide with the mobile launch.
Oh, yeah, they're going all out.
That's going to be huge. But what I find interesting is that they're waiting until the product is actually ready,
Right.
They're not just hyping it up prematurely.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
It is, in the Web3 world especially,
Yeah, so often it's all about look at us, we're amazing.
Or did all this hype.
And then the product is a letdown.
Right.
Parallel seems to be doing the opposite.
Right.
They're we're going to build a solid foundation first and then let the product speak for itself.
I like that approach.
It's a long-term strategy.
It is. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
not like they're just, sitting around waiting for the mobile launch. They're still actively developing the game, listening to feedback, making improvements.
Yeah, they're constantly iterating.
Like those changes to the league structure for Season 2.
Oh, yeah. Those are some pretty big tweaks.
Right. They're restructuring the qualifiers and the minors, adjusting point distribution, revamping the last chance qualifier.
Yeah, it's like they took everything they learned from Season 1, and they're like, all right, how do we make this even better? How do we make it even more competitive?
Exactly. They're really committed to building a thriving competitive scene.
Yeah. And they're not just focused on the players either, They're also exploring partnerships with major esports organizations.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be huge.
I mean, imagine seeing parallel logos alongside FaZe Clan or TSM.
It would bring a level of legitimacy,
Yeah,
and exposure that they couldn't get on their own.
absolutely. It'd put them on the map in a big way.
And let's not forget, it could have a ripple effect on the whole Web3 gaming space,
Right.
If Parallel can successfully bridge that gap between traditional esports and Web3, it could pave the way for other studios to follow suit.
It's like they're the pioneers. They're forging this new path.
Exactly. And they're not just trying to replicate existing esports structures,
Right.
They're actually incorporating Web3 elements like player ownership, decentralized governance.
A whole new approach.
It's a whole new model.
It's really cool to see. But, with all this talk about mobile launch and esports partnerships, it's easy to forget about the other big things that are happening in the parallel universe.
Oh, yeah, we can't forget about Colony.
Colony, Wayfinder.
And that mysterious shooter project.
Oh.
There's so much going on.
What's the latest on those?
Well, Worlds is going to be a big showcase for all of them.
Right.
We're getting the first playable demo of Colony.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which suggests that development is further along than some people might have thought.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Colony is not just a standalone game, right?
Right, it's all part of the parallel universe.
It expands the lore, introduces new characters, new factions.
Adds another layer to the whole narrative.
Exactly. And then there's Wayfinder.
Oh yeah, Wayfinder.
We're getting a full presentation on that at Worlds, too.
Still shrouded in mystery, but
But the little glimpses they've given us.
it looks really interesting.
It does. And then there's the Shooter Project,
The wild card.
the one that everyone's whispering about.
They've been really tight-lipped about that one.
I know.
But the fact that they're teasing a major reveal at Worlds tells me they're ready to make a splash.
Yeah, I think so, too. And given their emphasis on esports, I wouldn't be surprised if this shooter is designed with competitive play in mind.
Oh, for sure.
Imagine like a Web3-powered FPS with integrated tournaments, player-owned items.
That would be huge.
It'd be massive.
And they could leverage their existing TCG community, and all the hype around Worlds.
Yeah, they could have a real hit on their hands.
Absolutely.
It's incredible how much they have going on, It's not just one game. It's like this whole ecosystem of interconnected experiences.
Yeah, all built around this captivating sci-fi universe.
It's really cool.
Hmm.
So, we talked about a lot of really exciting stuff, but before we get too carried away,
Right.
let's bring it back down to earth for a second and talk about what this all means for the listener.
Yeah.
The person who's sitting there listening to us ramble on about Parallel.
Sure.
What's the takeaway for them?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that you're on the ground floor of something potentially huge.
Yeah.
Web3 gaming is still in its early stages, and Parallel is at the forefront of this whole movement.
They're pushing boundaries.
They're experimenting with new technologies, new business models.
And they're creating experiences that are truly unique.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So whether you're a hardcore TCG player, a casual gamer, or just someone who's curious about the future of entertainment, Parallel's journey is worth following.
Absolutely. And it's not just about being a passive observer either, right?
Right. Engage with their community, share your thoughts, give feedback, maybe even help shape the future of Parallel.
Yeah, this is a chance to be a part of something special.
Something that could redefine the way we think about gaming and community.
It's empowering, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's not just about consuming entertainment. It's about actually participating in its creation.
Exactly.
And with so much happening in the Parallel universe, there are so many opportunities to get involved.
It's like a giant sandbox, and they're inviting everyone to come play.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
And the best part is, this is just the beginning.
Yeah, Worlds is going to be a major turning point.
And from there, who knows what's going to happen?
The possibilities are endless.
It's an exciting time to be a part of the Parallel community.
I couldn't agree more.
All right, so we've talked about mobile launch, esports, Colony, Wayfinder, even that mysterious shooter project.
We've covered a lot of ground.
But there's one big question that we haven't really addressed yet.
What's that?
The question of growth. Are people actually playing this game?
Right.
Is the community growing? What are the numbers looking like?
Well, Fitch actually addressed that directly in the AMA.
Okay. He mentioned thousands of weekly signups, which is a good sign.
That's promising.
Yeah. But he also acknowledged that it's a challenge to convert those signups into, active players.
Right.
Especially given the current onboarding hurdles.
It's a common problem in the Web3 space.
It is.
Yeah.
Getting people over that initial hurdle, of understanding the technology, setting up wallets.
Right.
It can be a barrier to entry for some people.
Yeah, for sure. So it's not all sunshine and roses, right?
Right.
There are still challenges they need to overcome.
There are.
But what's encouraging is that they're aware of these challenges.
Absolutely.
And they're actively working to address them.
Exactly. They're focusing on refining that onboarding funnel, making it as simple and intuitive as possible for new players to jump in.
Right. And the mobile launch is going to be a big part of that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Imagine being able to, download the app, create an account, and just start playing.
Oh, within a few minutes.
Yeah, all from your phone. That's the level of accessibility they're aiming for.
That's huge.
It is. But even with, a streamlined onboarding experience, there's still the challenge of convincing, some of the more skeptical gamers that Web3 is more than just a buzzword.
Yeah.
And that's where the focus on quality and community comes in. They're not just trying to hype up the Web3 aspects.
Right.
They're building a genuinely fun and engaging game.
Right. That happens to be powered by blockchain technology.
Exactly. And they're letting the community be their biggest advocates. It's like they're saying, try the game first and
Yeah.
then decide for yourself if Web3 is something you're interested in.
I like that. No pressure, just pure gaming enjoyment.
Exactly. And they're being transparent about their growth metrics too.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
They're not trying to inflate numbers or mislead anyone.
Right.
They're focused on genuine engagement, retention.
Which, in the long run, that's what really matters.
Absolutely. It's a breath of fresh air, honestly.
It is, in an industry that's often characterized by, hype and speculation.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about building something sustainable,
Mhm.
something that has the potential to last.
Okay, so we've talked about growth, we've talked about the future of parallel, but there's one more thing I want to touch on before we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
and that's the elephant in the room, Web3 gaming itself.
Yeah, it's a topic that's surrounded by both excitement and skepticism.
It is.
On one hand, you have the potential for true player ownership, decentralized communities, innovative gameplay experiences.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, you have the challenges of regulation, technical complexity,
Yeah.
and general lack of understanding, I think, among a lot of mainstream gamers.
Yeah, it's still a very new concept for a lot of people.
It is. It's a bit of a wild west out there.
It is. But amidst all the chaos, parallel seems to be finding its footing.
Yeah, they are. They're navigating the challenges thoughtfully, prioritizing quality, community,
Mhm.
over hype, and quick profits.
Yeah, that's playing the long game.
And they're proving that Web3 gaming can be more than just this niche experiment.
Right.
It can be a source of genuine entertainment and innovation.
So where does that leave us?
I think the biggest takeaway is that Web3 gaming is still very much in its early stages. It's evolving rapidly. There are going to be bumps along the way, but there's also a tremendous amount of potential.
Yeah, I think that's the key takeaway.
And Parallel is a great example of a studio that's doing things the right way.
They
Or
are.
building a solid foundation, focusing on community, delivering a high-quality gaming experience.
They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk.
Exactly. And whether you're a seasoned Web3 enthusiast or a curious newcomer, Parallel is a project worth watching.
It's a glimpse into the future of gaming.
A future where players have more control, communities are more empowered, and the lines between the digital and physical worlds continue to blur.
It's a future that's both exciting and uncertain, but with studios like Parallel leading the charge.
It's a future that's filled with possibility. Worlds, huh? It feels like everything's building up to this.
It's like the climax of the whole Parallel story so far.
It's their chance to really show the world what they're all about.
Yeah, all eyes are going to be on Vegas.
And with so much happening there, the championship, the mobile launch, the colony demo, the stakes are pretty high, right?
Well, yeah, there's a lot riding on this.
Do you think they can pull it off?
Pull what off?
Convince people that, Parallel is the real deal.
Oh, yeah. I think they have a really good shot.
Okay. What sets them apart, I think, is their focus on building a solid game first.
Mm-hmm.
The Web3 stuff is there, obviously,
Right.
but it's not the main focus.
Right. It's not like they're just trying to cash in on the latest trend.
Exactly.
Mhm.
They're building a game that people actually want to play.
Yeah, with or without the Web3 elements.
Exactly. And they're doing it in a way that's really smart and strategic.
Yeah.
The lore is deep, the gameplay is engaging, the community is passionate.
Yeah, it feels like they've really thought this through.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but let's be real for a second.
Okay.
Worlds is going to be a trial by fire.
It is.
They need to deliver on all those promises.
Mm-hmm.
They need to exceed expectations.
Especially if they want to silence those doubters.
The people who are still skeptical about Web3 gaming.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the pressure's on.
Oh, yeah, big time. Like the Colony demo, for example. It can't just be a tech showcase.
Right. It needs to be more than that.
It needs to actually be fun to play. It needs to get people excited about this whole new facet of the Parallel universe.
And then there's the shooter project.
Ooh, yeah, the big mystery.
That's a whole other beast.
It is. They're entering a very crowded genre.
Mm-hmm.
They need to bring something truly unique to the table.
If they want to stand out, yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, the stakes are high,
They are.
but the potential rewards are even higher.
Absolutely. If Parallel can actually pull off Worlds and deliver on all the hype,
It could be huge.
it could be a turning point, not just for them, but for the entire Web3 gaming space.
It could be the moment where Web3 gaming finally goes mainstream.
Exactly. And Parallel would be leading the charge.
Okay, before we get too carried away with all the what-ifs, let's bring it back down to earth for a minute.
Okay.
Let's talk about what this means for, the average Parallel player.
Sure.
What can they expect in the coming months?
Well, for one, they can expect a much smoother and more enjoyable experience overall. The mobile launch is going to make the game accessible to so many more people, and the unified profile system is going to make managing your collection and tracking your progress so much easier.
Yeah, that's going to be huge.
And for the competitive players out there, Season 2 is shaping up to be even more exciting.
With the new tournament structures and everything, yeah.
Exactly. And then there's the potential for those big esports partnerships, which could really take things to the next level.
Okay, so beyond those practical improvements, what else?
Well, I think there's also just a sense of excitement for what's to come. The Colony demo, the Wayfinder presentation, the shooter reveal.
It's like we're on the edge of something big.
We are. It feels like Parallel is just getting started.
Yeah, and they're inviting us all to come along for the ride.
Exactly.
So to wrap things up, what's the one message you want to leave our listeners with today?
I would say this. Parallel is at a crossroads. They're doing things differently, they're challenging the status quo, and they're building a future for gaming that's truly unique. So whether you're a diehard fan or just a curious observer, keep an eye on Parallel. They just might be shaping the future of gaming as we know it.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on. This deep dive has been a wild ride, full of speculation and excitement.
It has.
But one thing's for sure, the future of Parallel is bright, and we can't wait to see what they have in store for us next. Thanks for joining us on this journey.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time.